Yeah, Ambush, and today we are joined by a 19-year-old folk roots artist from Gatineau, Quebec, who in 2019 released her debut EP, Cardboard Box. And of course, through the last years, she's grown, she's crafted, she has honed herself as a singer-songwriter, and it brings us now to a new single, a piece of an upcoming album, this new track entitled Kitchissippi. Our guest, Mia Kelly. How's it going today, Mia?
It's going wonderfully. How are you?
Ooh, having myself a beautiful, sunny British Columbia day. I cannot
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yes. Yes, it's as soon as this is done, I'm opening these blinds that are right beside me. Like, let's go.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's hurry it up. Let's get the sunshine. Of course, no need to rush here, but like we said, the new single. It's entitled Kitchissippi, which, of course, from my research, I believe is a river somewhere over there on the East Coast. And of course, I'm a water person. I love the flow of water, the sound of it, the energy that it brings. So I need to know, what exactly does Kitchissippi mean to Mia Kelly? What inspired you to turn it into a single?
It means the world to me, actually. I can see it right now as we're talking. It's right in front of my house, and I grew up in this house, and so I've always had the river just kind of soundtracking my life, and it's always been there. And then in the last couple of years, when things were not going so well with the whole pandemic thing, I had school, and that got canceled. It went online, and then I had a tour, and that got also canceled. And so I kind of was left with a lot of spare time, as a lot of us were. And so I turned to river surfing, which is something that we do a lot on this river, which is the Ottawa River. And yeah, so I turned to river surfing. And that just transformed my quarantine, my life, my health, my mental health. And so I thought it deserved a little bit of a tune to honor that.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I myself, I wasn't exactly up to speed with the world of river surfing before I did my research here. I'm guessing a lot of people aren't either. So is this something that you were doing before the pandemic and just got into more? Or was this something that you just had the opportunity to get into now that you had more time?
I definitely tried a couple times when I was younger, but it is a very intimidating, or it used to be a very intimidating space, because everyone is, they were older dudes and they were all very cool.
Bro.
And I was yeah, exactly. And I was the 14-year-old girl who was like, oh my God, that looks so cool. And then I was walking my dog, and I saw this one girl surfing, and she was phenomenal. And I was like, damn, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. And the community was so welcoming and awesome and really encouraging. And compared to ocean surfing, which is kind of really known for a macho, kind of very every man for himself, I found it super welcoming, and everyone kind of learns at their own pace. And it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw a video on, I think, one of your social media pages there of just moving through it, and because I didn't think how fast a river moves, right? I actually had to see it to actually understand that okay, so yeah, it's definitely not the same, but there's still movement. You gotta be engaged still, right?
For sure. Yeah. And the Kitchissippi River, which is the Ottawa River in Anishinaabe-Moan, which is the language of the Algonquin people, who are the host nation of the National Capital Region. So I kind of refer to it as the Kitchissippi, but also the Ottawa River, just because it's kind of known as both. And in French, it's La Rivière des Outaouais, so it's just kind of all interchanges. But it's huge. It's massive, this river. And so in the spring, when the levels go up, there are a bunch of different waves we can surf, and it's a whole fun little world that I've got to explore, which has been really fun.
Fantastic. Awesome. So, of course, you mentioned this river's pretty much been a part of your entire life here, a friend, I guess one would say. So, how exactly do you go from taking this influence that it's had inside of your life and crafting it inside of lyrical form here?
That's a great question. I'm not quite sure, but the song came to me while I was in the river and I was surfing. And then I can't really remember how it all happened, but I started like singing the chorus, like, and then I remember just running, like dropping my board, running home. I live like 30 seconds away, and like I basically creeped into my room and sang into my phone, and that's where the song started. And then from there, I just kind of built off my experiences with the river and what it means to me. So.
Hmm. I like it. And I also just like how you like sort of mentioned, kind of talk about it like a friend, almost like a guide, like a wise woman type of thing, like someone you're telling your secrets
That's
to and otherwise.
exactly how I see it. Yeah, exactly. I've always kind of personified the river as a female being, and it just feels like a big hug to be in that space and by the river. And whenever I need to cry or I'm angry or I need to think, I just go and sit. And all is better. It's all good after that.
Hey, like any strong woman, they can provide, they can give, but you also better respect them.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Who needs therapy when you have a large, large river?
Right? I mean, come on now.
That's healthy.
I think so. I mean, save a ton of money.
Exactly. It's free.
Get more surfboards.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you're talking about. You should come down here. I'll show you how to do it.
Hey, trying to make my way to the East Coast ASAP, so maybe we'll have to go hit up the Kitchissippi.
Please, anytime.
Hey, all right. So when it came to the recording process and otherwise, who helped you to bring this song to life so that, we could have it inside of our ears?
A couple key people. I started recording it as kind of a one-off single at Studio Diamond with this lovely fellow named Simon Labelle. And he's actually, so we kind of did the rough demo tracks with him. And then he does environmental recordings in the area. And so he was like, oh, I have a lot of recordings of the river that you're actually talking about if you wanted to integrate those into the song. And so at the beginning and at the end, it's kind of like the river. You can actually hear the river that I'm singing about, which I found was pretty special. And then the whole rest of the recording process was with Jim Bryson at his Fixed Hinge studio in Stittsville, which was super fun as well.
Nice. Jim Bryson's worked with quite a few esteemed artists there. So what was it like to be able to step into his space, maybe pick his brain a little bit?
We had so much fun. He is such an interesting and talented and, patient person to work with. And at the beginning, it was a little bit intimidating. Just kind of working with anyone that you've never worked with before is just always kind of there's a little bit of apprehension there. But as soon as I stepped into his space, it was so comfortable. It felt like my living room. It felt just like hanging out with a friend and making music, which is essentially what it was. So that was fun.
Hey, and that usually makes for the best thing.
Oh, yeah.
Energy, right? Like when you feel comfortable and otherwise, everything flows.
Exactly. And there's no time pressure, or stress, or, I'm super comfortable, especially when I'm comfortable saying like, oh, I like that idea. or, hey, let's try this other thing. It just makes a big difference in the whole creative product and how it ends up sounding at the end, because you really kind of were comfortable throughout it all.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially when somebody like with his credibility and otherwise is willing to listen to like what your thoughts are on the song too, right? Because then you know that like he's actually listening to you. Yeah,
which is huge, and it was awesome to work with Jim, and I will absolutely be working with him again.
Hey, fantastic. Well, I mean, as mentioned earlier, you're sort of working towards a debut album here. So I presume maybe you guys recorded maybe just more than one track while you were there?
Yeah, so we did the whole album. We recorded the whole album within like 2 weeks. It was very short and very intense and so much fun. And now it's ready to come out on August 26th.
Oh,
The whole album. Yeah, which
soon.
is my debut kind of record.
Hmm. Awesome. So, of course, you
Mhm.
mentioned August 26th. So, of course, if people, the audience, the listeners wanted to go ahead and stay up to date with the ramp up, the hype up to Garden Through the War, what's maybe the best places to go ahead and do so?
I definitely do a lot of posting on my Instagram, on my Facebook. Following me on Spotify would be amazing as well, and YouTube and kind of wherever you get your news and listen to your music. I'm there under Mia Kelly or Mia Kelly Music, and so I'm pretty easy to find.
All right. Very easy to find indeed. I'll leave some links in the description to the show today as
Awesome.
well. Make it nice and just that much easier for people to go ahead and get more Mia Kelly in their life. Go ahead, follow on Spotify. Follow on Spotify.
Yay, please.
Subliminal. Come on.
Exactly. Tell them,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, of course. I love it. So we mentioned there's an upcoming album. What else, does the future maybe potentially hold here? Maybe some music videos, some more singles. What does the rest of 2022 hold for Mia?
A lot of good stuff. This week is actually kind of the ramp up when it's gonna get exciting. Actually, this is my very first podcast experience ever. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for having me.
Hey, well, thank you.
Yeah. But a little bit later, we've got the album release party. And then I'm going on tour across Eastern Canada, opening for this phenomenal Australian musician named Daniel Champagne. And yeah, so I'm going on tour, which is my first tour experience as well. And so it's just a lot of firsts, a lot of exciting stuff coming.
Hey, awesome. Getting back on, well, I guess getting on the road. You've been able to get back on the stage, hitting the festivals and otherwise recently, getting yourself ready, prepared, playing some of these new songs for the fans, making sure that when you hit the road, they're ready to go.
They're so ready to go. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. I know recently, I believe you played Ottawa Blues Fest, correct?
I sure did. It was so much fun. Mark Monahan, who runs Blues Fest, has always been so supportive, and I kind of grew up through their youth band programs. And so to kind of be back on their main stages as one of their, official acts for the lineup was really exciting and encouraging. It kind of feels like you have a community and the city that you grew up in behind you kind of cheering you on, which feels really nice.
Probably a few people in the crowd too were just like saying like, I remember seeing her when she was this big.
Exactly. Do you remember when you were 11 singing on this stage? And I was like, no, not really.
No. I remember being terrified. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not me. But yeah, it was really fun, and it's a huge festival, and the lineup was amazing. So to be a part of it was just really an honor. Yeah.
Awesome. Of course, it's always fantastic to have these opportunities inside of our lives, things that we're grateful for. So of course, I'm going to ask, what's something else that you're very grateful for inside of your life, you'd say?
That is funny you say that, because I've spent a lot of my summer at folk festivals and a lot of hanging out with my friends. I was away for 4 months. I was traveling, and then I came home and I got to see my friends that I've been friends with for like a decade now. And I am so grateful for these gorgeous human beings that they make me very, very happy. And to get to spend time with them, listening to live music and just hanging out in the sun and just being in that whole loving just fills my heart. So that's something that I'm so very grateful for.
Awesome. Fantastic. And of course, I have one last question. We're going to stay on the topic of sort of, you a little bit more than your music. So, of course, what I would like to know is we've been talking about this new single, an upcoming album, and otherwise. And of course, through this time, as individuals, we grow because, we're getting out our emotions. Music is therapy. Music is magic. So, of course, what I would like to know is
absolutely
through the process of crafting this upcoming album, this new single, otherwise, how has it helped you to grow as a person, or what has it taught you about yourself?
That is a really good question. I definitely think that the whole theme of the album is growth and resilience and the strength that it takes to get through the hard things. And that's kind of a lot of the messaging that's in the songs. And I think just by virtue of making that album and creating it and listening to the songs over and over, that message kind of sinks in. And so it was kind of nice I generally write a lot for other people, but then to kind of have my own message sink into myself and learn that is really been really nice as well. Definitely a lot of growing in the last couple of years. So hopefully that'll reflect itself in the new record and in even newer records that will be coming later on. So.
And the best way to keep up with this upcoming album and all of the future ones, all 17 of them, is to go ahead and follow her on Spotify.
Exactly. On Facebook, I have my website that I keep updated. I also, actually, this is a big one, my mailing list. If you sign up for my mailing list, you get to watch the music video for Kitchissippi that includes a lot of river surfing and a lot of singing, which are two things that I love very much. And you get to see it's coming out next week. But if you want to see it before anyone else sees it, you can sign up for the mailing list. So.
Hey, go ahead. Go ahead and get that. Yeah, get in there early. Go ahead. Check out the music video. Jam this new single. Either way, get some more Mia Kelly inside of your life. Mia, thank you so very much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. And now we get to go enjoy this sunny day.
Yeah, open up those blinds. Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome.